Okay, this last video that we're going to do is a little bit an evaluation, kind of where we are with pieces that you're working on right now. And I know one of the things you like best about playing piano is getting new music, and I think that's fun too. I like that. What I'm thinking is we have quite a few pieces going right now. And so if you could do this, I'd like you to get out a piece of paper. It could be scratch paper, nothing fancy. But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to record for me a couple of things. First of all, I'd like you to record for me the name of the piece, so you can kind of just maybe make columns or something. I don't know, if you're better writing in paragraphs, whatever works for you. I kind of think in bullet points, and so I'm thinking columns, but whatever. So thinking about, okay, what piece you're working on. So let's say you're working on the Bach fugue. And then I'd like you to next evaluate kind of where you are with it, like whole piece hands together, or hands separate, or this many measures I'm doing hands together, and then kind of an evaluation of how you feel about it. It's not like how I love it, that kind of thing. More like, okay, this is really rough. I think I could do this, because what the whole point of what I'd like to try to move to is this piece. This is where I am with it right now. This is what I'm thinking about this piece. I'm not sure I really want to keep working on this piece because I'm just not liking it. It's not working for me. I know sometimes you feel that way. Usually you'll stop the piece before we start it. But I want us, one of the problems I'm finding right now is because you're busy with other musical endeavors, which is a good thing, but we haven't had a chance to perform anything. You haven't had a chance to perform anything, and I haven't had a chance to help you get ready for a performance for a really long time. And I think that it'd just be so nice if we had like someplace we could play something that you could work toward, because we work on pieces in a different way. We set different kinds of goals depending on what we're going to do with these pieces. So this project is, I want you to list the pieces. I want you to list where you are with the pieces. And then I'd like you to list what kind of goals do you envision for yourself with that. Like, I'm loving the way you're sinking your teeth into the Gershwin. And every week it comes back. We both know it's really hard. And we weren't planning on it sounding good anytime in the near future. But I feel like you really like that piece, and you're having fun kind of sinking your teeth into something that's really a challenge, and I like that. And it's not overwhelming like the Beethoven. That's a good challenge, and it's a challenge you sort of chose for yourself, which I really like that. But it's a big challenge. What is that, like 7 pages, that movement? It's just a lot. It's a lot to learn. The Gershwin's a little more manageable. So it would help me as your teacher to know how to help you with these pieces if I could kind of know what you're thinking. And I don't want to spend time necessarily talking about it. I mean, we do some talking when you're here. But if you could do this evaluation, it might also help you think through, what can I do with this piece? Do I really want to keep working on it or not? And the other thing I'd really like you to get to is one goal. You can do more than one goal. Like I tell my kindergartners, you have to write one sentence. But if you want to write more sentences, you can, but you have to write one. So in this case, I need you to write one goal that you would attach to each one of these pieces. Maybe it's the Bach, and you're really close to having all the, the fingers, and you're knowing the notes and everything, but you can't keep the whole thing the same tempo because you got to slow down at X spot or whatever. Maybe your goal would be to work on this until you could play the whole thing at the same metronome marking. That would be an attainable goal. So I think if you and I set for you some attainable goals, we'll be able to see your progress. I feel sort of like we're just sort of floating in some ways. It's a good floating. It's fun, But I think it would help if you saw the pieces on paper, and I saw them too, because I'll get to see this. You're going to bring it with you to your lesson. But I think you're at this point where you could help make some of the goals. We've worked together on how to make goals for pieces for quite a while. Whether it's, okay, we're going to work on this chunk this week and try to get, these first 8 measures or whatever. You know how to make manageable goals, and you know yourself, and you know how much time you have to put into it. You also know best what you think about these pieces. And I feel like the things we're working on right now, you're liking. You're liking the Chopin. We have a really nice balance. If we were trying to get a guild program together, what we're working on right now is pretty nice because you've got something from everywhere, including impressionistic. So I like that balance, and I'm liking how you're enjoying the parts that we're working on. So the piece, you're going to tell me where you are right now in the stage of learning that piece, and then you're going to tell me what you envision doing with that piece. Keeping it, not keeping it. I'd really like to perform this somewhere. Could you help me find somewhere to perform? I mean, we could go to that extent. And then at least one goal. Or more. But something manageable that you think maybe you could get from the time that you watch this, which I'm hoping is Thursday. I'm hoping that maybe you could watch it this weekend. Hopefully you're seeing me on the weekend. Maybe I'll send you a text, and when I tell you the video's up, I'll say. It would be fun if you could watch this, but I know you're busy and you're working a lot too, so. But come next time with that sheet so I can see what all we're working on, what all you want to keep working on, and what kind of goals you could set for yourself. And that I'd love to see if maybe you set one of those goals and then you attained it. Because I think sometimes it's just easy to sit down and play the piano and not really practice. This happens to me because I've had to just try so many different kinds of pieces for students that I never really learn anything to wow, I pretty much got that piece down stage. And I don't want that for you. I'd like you to be able to get to the point where there are a couple of these things that you're just like, wow, I nailed it. I can play that. If I was asked to play at our concert, a piece that I have something ready to go. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about, and I would love for you to put this down on paper for me so that we can work together from that place, and it'll give us some direction for where we're going next. So as always, if you have questions, I know I made it more theory oriented because number one, we don't get to do that very often during your lesson, and number two, the pieces you're working on right now are pretty much, you kind of just need to spend time with the music, and you don't really need me to add any more new music to what you've got right now. We just need to work on that and to try to see if we can get it to a point where you're getting some more proficiency in that. And maybe trying to figure out somewhere where you could perform. Love to see. Anyway, there you have it. Text me if you have questions. I'm just a text away. And I shall plan on seeing you next time, unless you tell me that you have another extended rehearsal. And then we'll be doing the video again. So, all right, take care.